I mean, it would be stupid if we have technological solutions available today and we wouldn't use them. I think it is essential to have proper data protection in place, and we need to be very transparent on how data is, what data is collected and how it will be used. And so that is essential. And then again, I think it is important to be transparent about that, and people should really be encouraged to use that, because data is most important for AI. And if we can collect data really at a large scale across the population, this must reveal some insights on how the disease spreads, or how we can optimize our own behavior in order to mitigate the infection risk. There are very good methods in place to anonymize or pseudonymize data, so that a centralized body like a governmental institution can never identify you as a person. They know you are there, but they don't know who you are. And this is exactly what is also sufficient in order to inform an AI model. So from a technical point of view, if the right measures are in place, there's really no reason not to install such an app. This public version analyzes, as you say, English language news, and it analyzes COVID-19 exposure for companies. So we have millions of companies in the system, and for each company, if it is mentioned in English news, we calculate a score of that company's exposure to the COVID-19 disease. And then we can aggregate this also on an industry sector level or on a geographic region level. And if you look at our COVID-19 tracker, there are the German DAX 30 companies in the center column. You see that Infineon Technologies, for instance, is quite high up. You wouldn't expect that because you don't see them in the media that often. But that is exactly where this knowledge graph kicks in. And because chips manufactured by Infineon are used by so many car manufacturers, for instance, their exposure to COVID-19 is kind of inherited to Infineon Technologies, and that's why they are so high up. That again is interesting, because you see not only the obvious stuff, but AI can really help you to spot also the hidden things that are actually quite important. Yeah, I think what's interesting is if we combine the analysis of the COVID-19 exposure with company exposure to other signals like layoffs, bankruptcy, or also job increases. And one specifically interesting signal is product launches. So we monitor if a company issues a new or launches a new product or service. And there's actually kind of an increase. We could see that this coronavirus would turn into a crisis already when we were monitoring the news back in January. So it's more disappointing that reactions to that crisis came that late, but systems actually already showed it would become a crisis. So maybe this time it's not the AI's fault, it's more about the interpretation. Maybe that again is then the disappointing part of it, that maybe systems don't flag really critical issues as critical enough so that we as the human analysts could still say, well, let's see what will happen.